Growing up in Montclair, New Jersey, I always dreamed of a big, bustling family. Life, as it often does, had a funny way of making those dreams come true, just not in the way I expected. When I met David, he was a single dad to a spirited 5-year-old girl named Chloe. Falling for David meant falling for Chloe too, and I embraced the role of stepmom with every fiber of my being. For 13 years, I poured my heart into that child, raising her as if she were my own flesh and blood. I was there for every scraped knee, every school play at Montclair High, every late-night homework crisis. I cheered her on at her soccer games down at Amerson Park and spent countless hours helping her pick out outfits for dances. Finances were always a dance in our house. David worked hard, but his job as a marketing manager meant his income fluctuated. I, on the other hand, had a steady job as a graphic designer. So, without much discussion, my income became the backbone of Chloe's upbringing. Her orthodontist bills? Mine. Her tuition for that advanced coding camp at the Newark Museum of Art? Mine. Even her designer sneakers and her first car, a sensible used Honda Civic, came from my savings. I never thought twice about it. This was my family. This was my daughter. Or so I believed. The crack in that belief started small, a barely perceptible tremor. It was the week before Chloe was set to leave for Rutgers University. The house was a whirlwind of packing boxes, dorm essentials, and nervous excitement. One afternoon, as I was carefully folding her new bedding, Chloe came into her room looking for something. David was sitting on the edge of her bed, giving her some last-minute advice. I asked her about a specific set of extra-long twin sheets I'd bought. Chloe, without even looking up from her phone, casually shrugged. "Oh, those? Dad already got me some. You know, my real dad." The words hit me like a physical blow. My breath caught in my throat. Not a shout, not an argument, just a quiet, dismissive utterance that erased 13 years of my life. I glanced at David, expecting him to correct her, to say something, anything. But he just gave a slight, almost imperceptible nod, confirming her statement. In that moment, I felt a deep, chilling emptiness. My heart didn't break. It shattered into a million tiny, invisible pieces. I wasn't just hurt. I felt utterly betrayed, erased. I excused myself, walking away before the tears could betray me. I went straight to the attic, to a dusty old box I hadn't opened in years. Inside was a file, a thick folder I'd started soon after David and I got married. It wasn't out of malice, but out of meticulous habit. As a graphic designer, I kept receipts for everything. And so for 13 years, every significant expense related to Chloe, medical bills, school supplies, tutoring, camp fees, even her allowance, was neatly recorded and filed away. I pulled out old photos, too, of a younger me beaming as I helped Chloe learn to ride her bike or holding her hand on her first day of middle school. At the very bottom of the folder was a document I'd almost forgotten. Adoption papers, unsigned from when Chloe was 7 years old. David and I had considered it, but her biological father had suddenly resurfaced, only to disappear again just as quickly, leaving the papers in limbo. Staring at that stack of invoices and the unsigned adoption papers, a profound shift happened within me. The file, once a mere collection of financial records, transformed. I renamed it, a bitter truth whispering in my mind. The ledger of a forgotten mother. It wasn't about the money anymore. It was about the years, the love, the sacrifices that had been dismissed with a single casual sentence. And in that quiet attic, amidst the dust and forgotten memories, a plan began to form. A cold, clear plan that felt both terrifying and liberating. Chloe's 18th birthday party was a week later. The house was full of laughter and friends, a festive atmosphere that felt entirely alien to my internal turmoil. I watched as David beamed, accepting congratulations for raising such a wonderful young woman. Chloe, glowing and surrounded by gifts, barely acknowledged me beyond a polite nod. Every "thank you, Dad" from her to David, and every admiring glance chipped away at the fragile composure I was trying to maintain. I felt like a ghost in my own home, unseen, unappreciated. The birthday cake, a beautiful confection from the Little Daisy Bake Shop in town, tasted like ash in my mouth. That night, lying awake, I knew I couldn't continue living this lie. I wouldn't. The next morning, I calmly went about my day. I opened a small safe deposit box at the Bank of America branch downtown. I transferred all my financial documents, along with the ledger of a forgotten mother, and a carefully written letter to Chloe. In the letter, I explained my initial intentions, my love, and how her recent words had rendered my years of dedication meaningless. I also included a detailed breakdown of every single expense, culminating in a sum that shocked even me, $155,420. That evening, as we gathered for a quiet family dinner to celebrate Chloe's official birthday, I presented her with a small, beautifully wrapped gift box. David looked pleased, probably expecting jewelry or a new gadget. Chloe, tearing open the paper, found a small key and a slip of paper. She looked at me, confused. "What's this, Sarah?" My voice was steady, calm. "It's a key to a safe deposit box, Chloe, and that's the address. There's something in there for you and David, something I think you both need to see. Please open it after dinner. It's very important." David's cheerful expression faltered slightly, but he tried to play it off. "Oh, Sarah, always with the mysteries." After dinner, as I cleared the table, I heard the car pull out of the driveway. They were gone for about an hour. When they returned, the silence was deafening. Chloe walked past me into her room without a word, her face pale. David stood in the doorway of the living room holding the thick folder. His eyes, usually so warm and full of life, were wide with shock and fear. "Sarah, what is this?" he whispered, the joy from earlier completely evaporated. I looked at him, my gaze unwavering. "It's the cost, David. The cost of being disposable. The cost of being not her real mom. Every penny, every year, every sacrifice is documented in there. And the adoption papers are there too, reminding me of the dream that never materialized because it was never truly wanted." I had already packed my bags. They were in the trunk of my car, parked around the corner. I had found a small, cozy apartment in Hoboken, just a train ride away, but a world apart. As I walked out of that house, leaving David and Chloe with their silent reckoning, a weight lifted from my shoulders that I hadn't even realized I was carrying. The air felt lighter, the sky bluer. The tears that finally fell weren't of sadness, but of a profound sense of release. The ledger was closed, and a new chapter, truly my own, had finally begun.